and like, but so many are using all different things to escape life.
You do, mate, and you sedate, and you know, it's a good word that you use quite regularly. It's a sedation, and it doesn't matter it's television, fucking technology, alcohol, drugs, fucking sex, whatever. You sedate yourself to get through life. And once you learn that you don't need sedation, and you can enjoy who you are, and you can enjoy being yourself. Like, and that's something I could never ever did, mate, was enjoy fucking Ben Henry. And he's not a bad sort of fucking joker at the end of the day. You know, like, yeah. And it's great.
He's a handsome devil too.
Oh, he is, mate. He is, actually.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we'll start on that note, mate. This is, for those listening to this or watching this, you know, I firstly want to, as I introduce our amazing guest today, Mr. Ben Henry, who is a member for life, I just want to really paint a bit of a picture of, I guess, the pride that I have in seeing this man transform his life completely, because this podcast has been a long time coming, hasn't it, Ben?
It has, mate. It has been. I think I hid from you for a while too, Al, on the thing of just, you know, the vulnerability side of thing. I've been, you know, worried to let out the story, thinking I was, you know, the only sort of bloke that was going through the issues that I was going through, you know.
And now you've owned that truth. It's actually the most empowering thing, or one of the most empowering things I've ever seen, Ben. Like, it's incredible, man. And those listening to this or watching this, strap yourselves in for what's going to be, I think, one of our best episodes ever, to be fair. Even if we go up to episode 5,000, this is one that's close to my heart too, Ben, because when you came on board, and it's not that things have ever been shaky or I've ever had a lack of belief in IDM, but there was something about our phone call, and we'll go before this. I'm already getting emotional. There was something about our phone call when I'd been rejected. When I say rejected, I'd had consultations and guys had rejected themselves, but I've been taking that. What's wrong with me? How come guys don't want to join RDM? I don't get this. This is changing people's lives. It's so important. Why don't these guys? What am I doing wrong? What am I? And when we had a consult, I was in my soon-to-be second child, Lillian's bedroom, in a shitty little desk, and having this conversation and on the phone. And when we had this conversation, you actually inspired. I don't think I've ever shared this with you or anyone, to be fair. You instilled and inspired a hope inside of me, and not because of the struggles or the pains that you had been through, because you said some of that, but not all of it. You didn't tell me at the time about some of the things that I'm sure we'll be able to share today. But the way that you spoke in saying, I feel like there's been a calling, Alan, I've been drawn to you, and this is something that is just, it's meant to be, and it's written in this. There was something very spiritual, Benny, about, and you know what, you meet people at different stages and different phases of your life. Some stay, some move on. It's not that it's a bad thing, but you came into my life just as much as I came into yours at a stage where I never doubted RDM, but like all of us, mate, we have our moments, and some moments can be long. And that was a long moment for me, man. Like, I was under the pump. There was pressure in all areas of life. I had fucking no money. Like, I'd put everything into RDM with no return, as well as my gym failing. So I still had that. And mate, what you may think or feel that I've given you, which we'll go through. For those listening to, this isn't a 1 hour tug session pulling each other off. But honestly, mate, like, for what you feel like I've given you, even though you might have felt like the volume's more than what I might have given you, I'm not sure. What you gave me was that precision point right inside to go, you're doing the right thing, Al. Have a fucking look at this bloke and the conversation you just had, and what you're going to do to help himself to change his life. And I thank you for that, man. I really do, because there's been, and every member is important. It's why we have our membership numbers, and they're seared in history. No number will ever be repeated. But this is a really pivotal one for me, mate, which is why I guess I've been really looking forward to this for a long time as well. So thank you first, Ben Henry, for answering the call.
Alex, mate. Well, you nearly bumped me too, because I actually had lent my phone to someone who had personal dramas that day when you actually initially called me, and and you must have called when he was on the phone still, and I'd missed your call, and I ended up sending you a message that night to ask you to please forgive me, and it was a fuck up, or, you know, it was a mistake, excuse the language, you know, and I had shared my phone with a friend, and I thought, oh, I've lost a chance here. Like he said, if you don't answer the call when you ring, well, you miss out because you're not committed. And geez, I was committed, mate. You know, like I was looking for something. Honestly, I was looking for something to save me, Al, as we both know back then. And anyway, thank God you had a big heart, and you actually, yeah, you rang me back that night, and you were in Lillian's room. And yeah, mate, it was unbelievable that it was meant to be. They say it was a spiritual thing that I thought I'd lost a chance, and you proved to me that I hadn't. So you must have been looking for people, mate.
It's interesting how your intuition draws you into certain things, because you're right. There's plenty of guys where I haven't given that second, not that second chance, but the energy hasn't been reciprocal. And when you reached out and sent me that message, I was like, let's see. There's something here, because he obviously wants to connect. And for a lot of you guys listening or watching this, yeah, we are going to dive back into everything. This is not only a recognition and appreciation for Benny, but it's absolutely going to inspire you men by sharing what he's been through, where he's come from, what happened before RDM, and then what's happened since. And I guess I'd love to start with that, mate, and really peel the layers back in what's going to inspire thousands of men, because what a fucking turnaround you've had, man. Like it inspires me, mate, and I've seen a lot of things.
Yeah, mate. Well, where do we want me to start, mate? Like we go back, and I had mother and father who both loved me. You know, there's no worries. They had a pretty good upbringing. It was pretty rough, but it was a good upbringing. They did the best that they could do, and I respect them for that. I still throw little sticks at them now and say, "This is because of you," especially with some of the past things that have happened. Yeah, went to school, played a lot of footy, cricket. Could have done so much better if I hadn't have. I suppose I never really wanted to do things, mate, because I only ever did things because my brother did it. I drank beer because Big Ken drank beer, you know, like. Then I started taking drugs because someone else took drugs, and that had a flow-on effect, and sort of destroyed my life. Probably from late teens, I'd say, alcohol and drugs. Lived a normal life. I was married at 22 and had two beautiful boys, Liam and Jai, who have just built their first house together, mate. They bugger the girls, bugger everything else. They surf, work, and they've just built a house. So good luck to them. And sorry, I might be emotional too, because I miss them, because since we've moved up here, it's pretty tough. I can't get back. Yeah. So besides that, yeah, had them young. Alcohol and drugs ruined the marriage, and I'm not saying it's regret, but it's probably one of the, if I do have a regret, was stuffing everything up there, you know, in that relationship, not being able to be a dad to my kids on an everyday basis, you know. And then after that, I just went into a spiral. I continued to live, and not a lot of people knew that I had a drug habit and drug problem. I sort of kept that quiet, but it was a daily thing. And continued on, mate. Like 10 years is a blur, you know, and it's so sad that I lost that. And the only thing that kept me true was my boys, you know, and like whenever I had them, I'd straighten myself up and would, you know, always have fun and always get to the beach or get out in the bush fall driving or doing some fun things. And if it wasn't for those boys, I wouldn't be here today. Like I would have taken the easy road out. And so hopefully they don't listen to this, little buggers, because don't give them too much of a feather in their cap, because they've kept me true and they've kept me here, mate. And the relationship that I've grown with them since RDM, man, they're my sons and I'm their father, you know, and it feels good to have that relationship. We're great mates, but there's still that line. Okay, so yeah, so then we got to RDM, mate. I'd had a couple of relationships that had been terrible. I moved up to live with my brother out in the country for a bit, just to go and get some clear space. And I think it was about that stage that I'd come clear with you and let you know that I'd just been, I think I told you when I'd been off the drugs for about a month, and told you could let me go because I didn't think you'd want that shit in your group. And I needed to get into the group, Al. I needed something to be accountable to. And once I became accountable to the group, well, then I knew to get off the drugs and get out of the situations I was in. I needed to get myself healthy. I needed to get myself fit. So I joined, and I think it was the October or November I joined in 2019. And come Christmas time, I'm thinking, fuck, I just wasted a bit of money here. Even though you allowed me to, help me out, but let me pay it off. I'd given you a bit of money. I'm thinking, fuck, I've done me dough. I haven't even interacted with this group and I haven't given it a chance. And I thought, this is just a story of my life. I wanted it so bad, but then fuck, Drew didn't move in and help me. Al's not moving to Melbourne to help me. I'm in strife here. Anyway, I freshened my head up, even though I was still sedated, and decided that we went to the 1,000 steps, and that was my turning point that day, was to interact with the group. And I think it was getting the face-to-face contact with you blokes and seeing that you were real and you cared and actually gave a shit. But you also very loudly reiterated that you couldn't come and save me. And that was a hard pill to swallow, because I was hoping someone could come and save me, mate, because that was where I was at mentally. And you wouldn't, mate. You wouldn't leave green for me.
I'll tell you what, mate, I had the bags packed a few times and the car started. It was when she found a little wallet-sized photo of Ben Henry next to it. It was just that and Stella and Lily, and she was only young. She's like, what's going on here? That's not me. No. You know what? I remember the 1,000 steps, Benny, and you struggled to go up 1,000 steps, which we both know right now is fuck all. Like, you would sprint up that. But you know what I saw that day? Apart from you stopping multiple times and cramping and kicking back and looking, and there was I don't think there was shame by any means, but I think there was disappointment probably. But what I saw in your eyes was a look of realization. I saw a look in your eyes, but it was a really interesting one, because it was a realization which I had faith where it was going to go, but it was either going to one way or the other. The fucking lion, the king of the jungle, was going to come out and go, okay, it's time now. It's time to put the throne back on, or to sit on the throne and put the crown back on, or go the other way and fall apart. And I didn't believe that was an opportunity or a possibility. Even though I told you we can't save you, we won't save you. It's fascinating how, oh man, every part of me fucking wanted to, Ben. But I can't. But we know no one wins there, right? It's life. But I guess just before that, mate, we can absolutely dive into some things because moving forward from that point, because that was a pivotal moment, I think, for both of us, because that really reinforced my position, not so much on how important I am, but how important all of you are to each other. The tribe is so powerful, man. Like, it's the biggest energy source. It is the biggest source of energy inside of this movement, and the message and the meaning behind it. It's not how well Al can speak and his ads and bloody, landing pages or technology. It's real men all over the country. But what led to you being in the position that you're in before you came on board? Like, it seems like there was almost a passive version or a peer pressure, or was it a lack of an unknown identity, or going with the flow, or doing what others wanted? Like, what led to you being so deep inside that man through even manhood and fatherhood?
I'd allowed the drugs to take over my life, and which I had no self-respect. Even though I was a member of the community, I went to work every day. I still ate meals. I was not your normal drug addict, but I don't like to say drug addict because I was a drug user, because I'm not a drug addict now. Like, you could put drugs in front of me, mate, and I could sit there and look at them all day and it wouldn't bother me. Whereas a drug addict would have to have them. I think what led me there was the hurt that I'd caused myself in my marriage, and not being able to say be a father, a full-time father to my kids. That sort of broke me. I broke my own heart when I stuffed up, and then I suppose I just didn't care. There was no care for me. And then I'd seen a few of your ads, and then my brother, him and I had several fallings out in life. He shot me a link and he said, "Have a look at this bloke." He said, he sounds like he's all right. And I had a look at it, another look, and looked at your link, and everything you were saying was everything that I needed, Al. I needed to lose a few kilos. I needed to get a better mindset to get me out of that hole where I was. So now, where I was, not a good place, mate. I attempted suicide twice, Al. Which I know it's a place that I'll never go back to again. Sorry, mate, just a bit. It's a hard place to be. But
Yeah, man.
you can. It would have been too easy, way too easy, and staying here and dealing with demons that I had inside, it was the hard one. And yeah, and I needed someone to give me the fight to save myself, and you've done that. Like, you gave me the fight, Al, because you believed in me. You didn't even fucking, you didn't know me, but you believed in me. Yeah, it's amazing how someone else's reassurance of you can help move you along. So sorry, mate, I just lost my way a bit there.
Yeah, mate, it's a gift and a curse, Ben. I think I got it from my mum because I've been burnt so many times with it, but I can't become a jaded man in life. I truly see, like I said before this is I'm looking at the real Ben Henry, but I don't know, mate. It's not that I'm a clairvoyant. I do have great intuition, but my mum's a clairvoyant. But I absolutely see you for who you can become. And it doesn't mean that you're not enough now. You're exactly where you need to be right now to make a realization to go from point A to point B. And, mate, sometimes we need someone else to show us what we can't show ourselves. I've needed that too, man. And it's hard, isn't it? Because we don't go looking for trauma. And when I was living in my gym in 2017 for a period of time, and I'd completely fucked everything inside of my life, my business, my body, not being the father I should have been either to Stella, is like, man, we don't go looking for those things, Ben, but sometimes we just look around and we're like, how the fuck did I end up here? How did I? And look, some guys might not have stories as deep as that, but they might have chronically decreased their life 5% every year to the point where they're just 55 and it's like, just falling in a heap. You don't know. I mean, there are plenty of broken men and they can't rebuild in their 50s. It's incredibly fucking hard, but I get it, man. Like, we don't go looking for trauma, but sometimes it is those points that help us actually turn around, and we bounce like what you did. And it was a bit shaky, like the plane taking off for our first portion of the journey. But yeah, man, we're in this together because, like I always say, I needed Ben Henry to win for me to be true. So I wasn't a liar as well, if you know what I mean, in 100%. Terms of who I knew you could become.
Yeah. Fucking who can I become?
That's the gift, isn't it?
Who can I become, Al? You got a little fucking crystal ball there or what?
Oh, mate, that's the gift, man. People write themselves off. You've got no right doing that before the fact. And the fact is your last breath. So right. Yeah, man, that we've already spoke about big things. Yeah, we have, and why can't they? Of course they can. They can. The RDM Ranch. Yeah, well, the caretaker on the RDM Ranch. But no, it's true, mate. You continually surprise yourself, but over time you don't become surprised because you see it as a natural transcendence in life, and that's very impressive to see, mate. Yeah, and it's a good feeling too, mate. Like with training, and like here I am at 45, mate. I used to hate running when I was 16, 17 when I was fit, and I haven't done it since then. And here I am now running 3.5 Ks in 20 minutes. Like feeling great and doing it 4 times a week, training 2 or 3 times a week as well. Getting fit and healthy, enjoying life. Like,
I never thought I'd enjoy life. I used to think enjoying life was smoking a crack pipe, drinking cans. And I do not have any association with any of those people because none of them were ever friends. You know, they were just acquaintances who you thought were friends, and just they'd rob you and steal from you as quick as look at you.
Yeah.
But I've earned and created some friendships in this group, mate, that I'll take to my grave. Like, even if, you know, if RDM was to stop tomorrow, like, I'd still be friends with these people. But I don't think these people that I'm talking about and myself now would allow that to happen anyway. RDM's going nowhere. HPF now. So we've got places to... Yeah.
Well, RDM's our big global movement, mate. HPF is a program we continually upgrade. I love having you in there because a lot of your feedback, your insights has helped us evolve this to make it so specific so you guys continually perform. I mean, have a look at how you are an athlete, mate. You know, yes, we've got our own apps and all that sort of stuff, but Ben Henry is an athlete, man. You're talking about your training, and then you post some videos when you were doing your sessions before, hitting the bag and other moving parts that like you said, make it a part of your life now, your lifestyle. And it's interesting though, mate. I'm curious because it can come in many different forms and shapes, right? The lack of self-respect. Why do you think a lot of fathers tend to go down that road as they get older through their 30s and 40s? Is it the busyness of life and all the plates they carry, or why do you think? And sometimes they don't realize that, hey, like if I looked at a man down the street who wasn't happy, but I said, you don't love yourself, a lot of them might be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But that's what I see as the universal flaw, Benny. So many men don't actually give to themselves first, so they can give to others.
It's a massive problem, mate. And it is. I think it's just the noise of life, Al. The noise of life takes over, and you forget to sit down and remind yourself that you've done 10 good things today. And those just getting out of bed in the morning and giving yourself a good substantial feed in the morning and a good drink of water to hydrate yourself, that's a win. You know, because you've got to get out of bed and you've got to get up and you've got to feed yourself, you know. And so many people don't, as you say, don't give themselves any credit. And with the whirlwind of life, you try and give to everyone else. You try and do things for people that you wonder if you ever get anything back for the things you do, and quite often you won't. But if you're expecting things back, that's when you start to lose self-respect. If you get up and do something and you expect something back, you then resent that person, and by resenting someone, I feel you start to grow. You lose self-respect by resenting somebody else, because you can't choose what they think and what they choose to do. So that creates such a huge spiral down for so many men, because they try and do so much. They try and do everything for their other halves. They try and do everything for their children, and they don't do anything for themselves. You know, like when I first started doing all this, Alice, I started, fuck, I am being a bit selfish. But hang on, no, I'm not, because I'm only spending half an hour on myself. I'm giving 4 or 5 hours to the others around me. So how can that be selfish? And if you look at it in those ways, like a little bit of time for yourself creates a massive window of how you turn out to be, because you respect yourself and appreciate yourself. You know, I look at it every day and I give myself a thumbs up, Al. I used to look in the mirror like you used to look in the mirror, mate, and spit on the thing, because I was disgusted at the person I was, you know, and clouded because I just think, what are you doing here? You know? And now, as I say, now I see a bloke I like to look at. Not as good looking as you, but I like to look at myself still.
Well, it's funny you mention that. I've got a picture of you on my mirror in my bathroom, and I give you a thumbs up as well, mate. So you're getting two thumbs up every morning, Ben, you bastard. Well earned, by the way. what you said then's so true though, man. We do hidden deals under the table because we don't actually reinforce a love for self first. Going, we actually don't. It's not I don't need you to justify who I am. It's not like that. It's not a defense mechanism for the war. It's just going, I want to appreciate me and spend time on me. It's that formula I did the other day with Ken. If you got a couple of hours even to yourself every day and you're 40, you've only got 5 years left of actually time for you one to one. When you break that down, a couple of hours a day, 1,000 hours a year, okay, convert that into 40 years, bring it back into days, 1,800, bring that back into years, 5 years. So you guys listening to this are 40 years of age. We went through this with Ken on Tuesday. You've got 5 years left of just your life for you. And that's assuming you live to be 82. But Amesbury, one of our members, this is a breakthrough we had when we're talking about what you said then. And I've got it here. People pleasing. What we often think it means. 50% kindness to others, 50% close relationships. What it really means. Self-abandonment, emotional and mental fatigue, unequal relationships, and keeping yourself small. That's what it is. Fucking people pleasing, man. The whole nice guys finish last. It's completely wrong. Like, we are nice guys, right? But you don't have the frame and steel to go, this is who I am, what's important for me, what I'm going to do for my life, without the connotation of society and other people pushing on us that we're selfish. When you have that, mate, that's when you're really building truth and relationships and depth, first and foremost with yourself. I totally agree with what you're saying there, mate.
Yeah. Well, mate, just before I got on here today, I had a job interview. And I stood there and spoke to this bloke. He was a lovely fella. He actually come to see me because he's chased me for a couple of weeks trying to get me to go and work with him. And I stood there and said, well, listen here, mate, this is what I'm worth. I've never, ever said those words. This is what I'm worth. And this is what I deserve. And he was a bit shocked, and he goes, I'm taking my hat off to you. He goes, you're not asking. He said, you're telling me what you deserve. I said, I'm not trying to showboat. I'm not better than you. I'm not better than anyone else. But this is just, that's what I deserve, mate. I've been doing it for this many years. If you want me, that's what it's going to cost you. I'm not asking for $1 million. And he's just that ding before, he just sent me an email, a letter of offer, and I think there's everything on there that that I want. So once you get a bit of self-respect, mate, you go a long way by getting what you are worth. And if you're not worth anything, you might as well be back where I was 2 years ago.
It's incredible, man. And it really is that whole, people talk about law of attraction. It's actually you creating. We're creators, Ben. Like, you are creating and manifesting your reality, which may not have been 4 months ago. Hey, I'm going to do this on this day and get this job. It doesn't work that way. This is who I turn up as, and this is the energy I'm going to express right now, which creates the opportunity, man. And that's hard because you can't see it at times. But when it presents, you're prepared because that's who you are.
And you've got to just, my saying, mate, you just got to turn up every day, be consistent, be yourself, do what you say you're going to do. And you can, that's a pretty easy fucking formula to get success. Like I say, you look where I've come from in the last 12 months, mate, and the relationship I've grown now with Sam, moved to Queensland. Man, oh man, I thought I was going to be single. I'd resign myself to living in my auntie's house there where I was on the farm for the rest of my life and being a bachelor, But fuck, look now. I'm on the Gold Coast. I should have put my white sunnies on. I got the white sunnies for the Gold Coast. I'm looking after myself. I've got a tan. I've got a good shape. I'm feeling great. Now, nothing can stop me. So watch this space, and I want to, move on in time once I creating space, mate. You create space for so many things, but then you find time for a bit more space. So I'm at that time now. I just need to find a bit more space. So I start investing a bit more in myself to get to where I want to go next, and that is to getting in doing a bit of mindset coaching and helping out some other blokes and just being an ear, a mentor for other dads who think that there's no other opportunity or there's no other avenue to go, because fuck, man, there's a whole world out there. You got to take the blinkers off and stop doubting yourself.
Mm.
Because self-doubt
Absolutely.
is another massive killer in men, mate.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? That little voice inside, you know, and we all have him, but it's like he's on a microphone screaming for the best of us, let alone the rest of us at times when we don't have a support group, the right coaching environment, accountability, the right runs on the board. You know, the reason why you've got a level of certainty now, Ben, is because it's action you've fucking taken, mate. It's not just an illusion of, yeah, I'm this, and that, but it doesn't marry up with the outside world. You're living proof of actions that have been backed with certainty and control of life again, because you're heading in the right direction. And like you said before, not like if you can't love or respect yourself, how could you expect anyone else to at the level that's going to bring homeostasis and fulfillment to who you are as a father, as a man, as a member of the community or society, or as a husband for guys, or a partner? How can it work? Because they see that, they can feel that. Like they could feel like if I'm moping around the house or doing something that is just bringing me into a shell of a man inside of myself, my children won't respond to that. They wouldn't like that at all. They'd care first, and then there'd be a bit of nurturing. They'd be like, "Ooh." You see it in animal environments, mate. You know, whether it's packs or different things, there's an isolation. This is not a wholesome environment of energy that's going to move the rest of us forward.
100%, mate. 100%. And yeah, I like the way you put that, actually, because you do. Like, success breeds success, and if you're going the other way, and shit people breed shit people. Products of environment, mate. You know, and you say, like, kids, if you're walking around moping around, you look around in 3 days' time, your kid will be walking around mocking you, moping around. You think, what's fucking wrong with them? Well, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah, they follow so much, man. Like when I train in the gym, little Roman, he just wants to push the barbell and tries to pick up the little plate, because I pick up the big plate and just do like some shoulder stuff and mobility, and he picks up the little plate and starts throwing it. I'm like, man, this guy is just like, he's banging on the door wanting to come out when he hears the music going or hears the plates hitting the ground. And it's just, and the girls come out too. It's not just him. It's just so funny. They got their little dumbbells, and you're right, mate. Monkey see, monkey do, and it becomes a chronic seed that's planted. It doesn't need to be, mate, because different triggers create stories inside of our life that we make truths when they never were in the first place. And you didn't even plant that. It was planted inside for you, but you accepted it. People, places, and things, right? Like you said, your environment, drugs, technology, TV, sedation, distraction, other people who are toxic. They want to bring you down to their level so they feel better about themselves.
There's so
Crazy,
many,
man.
There's so many of those people in this world that are prepared to do that to people. And if you're a bit vulnerable, and like I was, mate, you know, I was vulnerable because I was in the situation I was in. So sometimes there I needed a job, and take any job that was there. So you'd be working for people, and they knew you fucking needed the job, so they would belittle you. They'd make you feel worthless, and you look back now and you go, that's why they've gone bankrupt. That's why they've gone broke, because the universe has got them for me. Because they're nasty people, and they're everywhere if you allow them. And I'm not prepared to allow people to do that to me anymore. Because you've grown that worth.
It is. Look, there are times when situations get put right in front of our face, Benny. But honestly, like I said, this has been a phenomenal year, and I feel blessed to be able to still serve and help fathers given the conditions. But a lot of the times, it's not that I don't believe or accept the conditions, but I refuse to allow it the energy and time so many people give it. Now, I get that certain areas people are right under the pump with, what's being pushed, whether it's mainstream media, government, all that sort of stuff. But for me, yeah, I do feel blessed in that respect, and majority of what we do is online. But fuck, mate, I want to be up there doing events with you. I want to be down in Victoria, so I haven't been able to travel. I want to do our first trip in WA. Kosciuszko's been pushed back to January. Like, it's been affecting us. I want to run 4 events a year, not just a big haymaker. How about we have good catch-ups in each state? So, yes, of course it's affected me, but like you said, if you don't expose yourself to the environment mentally, emotionally, and physically to different ones, technology is one prime example of lots of environments, lots of exposure with different agendas that don't have your best interest at heart. If you don't do that, you can focus on the most important things in your life and yourself. If you do that, you get lost in the whirlwind of life. You don't even know who you are anymore. You get told who you are or who you should be.
100%, mate. 100%. So that's one of the biggest things I've got rid of too, mate. Is I've still got it. I haven't got rid of it completely, but Facebook, probably look at it once a week. and that'd be generous. The only really thing that I dive into now is our workplace. And the darn thing, I've had to turn notifications down, like, because the thing goes ding 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 24/7 on that group of ours. But that isn't the right environment to be in. If I wasn't in that environment, this environment of support and love, mate, that we've got here. It's unbelievable. And to say that word love, to blokes, mate, I've said to you several times, I love you because, what you do, who you are, not just because, you're the leader of the tribe, but because I resonate very much with you, mate. You've had some trauma in your life that, even though I'm much older than you bounce from much quicker than me. You're much more resilient a lot earlier than I was, because I had a lot of trauma myself, mate. But I thought you were drinking Jim Beam then for a second, mate.
No. I might have thought it's time to celebrate. We've been meaning this podcast for a while, so in your honour, I'll send one back. Mate, I haven't had a drink. I haven't had a drink for a while, actually, for even years. Maybe a little bit of a cider that Corinne might have had, but yeah, it's hard, isn't it? The trauma that we face. I feel a lot of the resilience that I've come of late to be able to continually show with new challenges in looking after the tribe, in family, 3 young kids, all that sort of stuff. I went through a lot of trauma earlier in life, but that resilience, it gets shown through, like you said, the energy of the group, the tribe. It's how you keep turning up, man. I do. And again, the tribe isn't here to save you or even me, but it just keeps showing, keep turning up. Yeah, keep turning up. The wristbands, although I just trained, so don't have mine on, but I wear it every day. Yeah, man, like it's gold. It really is.
I'll take it off, mate, so you can see I wear it. Look at the tan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the old wristband. Yeah, it's yeah, it's fascinating when you expose yourself to those sorts of environments. They do lift you and keep you on a good path, mate.
It's the right environment, mate. I never used to think anything about that, but I look at the environment that I kept, and that was where I was, mate, and I don't begrudge anyone for doing drugs or anyone for drinking or smoking or doing any of those things that I used to do, because everyone's got a story and everyone's got a reason for doing what they're doing. If it wasn't, it's not a good thing to say, but if it wasn't for drugs, I probably wouldn't have got here, because the little voice probably would have beaten me in those times that I was at a low point. But the drugs allowed everything to be numb. And that environment kept me going until I found where I needed to go. I'm not singing hallelujah or praise the Lord. We don't hold hands and sing kumbaya, even though I know you want to. It's just genuine, mate. Genuine men just getting together and just, we catch up here. We've, been blessed to be up in Queensland, mate. We can get out and do things, and I'm blessed I got Maddie and Adrian mainly. Like they're the boys, they're the go-getters up here. They're organising everything for us, and we're getting out and about. I said, fucking no point in me organising anything, so I don't know where anything is up here. But you get the right environment. It's just, let's say the tribe that we've got, if anyone that's listening to this, they need to just have a look at the tribe for a day and just see the support that you get with no bullshit. Mate, you could turn convicted criminals, I reckon, Alan, yeah.
It's too hard to market, man. Like, I can't keep up with the screenshots. Like, I do take them. Like, I take screenshots, and for different privacy reasons, I remove last names, but I get a shitload of screenshots every day, man. Like, even in the Rise to Win war cry, first thing in the morning, so it's I will build something. I mean, I've started to try and show some behind the scenes stuff, but you're right, mate, it's very valuable. But I guess moving into that note, like a bit of a slow start, had the realization, 1,000 steps, and then moving forward to where we are right here and now, 16th of September, 2021. What's been the biggest breakthroughs or takeaways? How, I know you've spoken about how this has transformed your life, but how's RDM played a role in that? Like in as a whole, like for you to be here right now, like what's changed the most for you? What's reinforced mentally, physically? Like, how's it all come together for you? And then where are we going? What's next?
Well, I think having the accountability, having the support, and I suppose once I grew a bit of self-belief in the group, in myself, sorry, and I put it on display. I put it on display to the tribe, and then I suppose I didn't want to let myself down by not continuing to turn up, because I do share my philosophies in the group, and you got to practice what you preach, and I think that's what the group's taught me, is if I'm going to open my mouth, I've got to turn around and do what I say I'm going to do. It's given me that accountability to myself. It doesn't matter, I suppose, the stuff to anybody if I don't do what I don't say I'm going to do, but because I've grown that accountability to myself, it does matter. And my self-beliefs have made me keep pushing forward there. And I think the growth of the group, mate, and I suppose you showed so much faith in me to get me going. I don't want to let you down. I want to, I was one of the earlier blokes getting going, and there's a lot of blokes that have dropped off. I don't want to let you down. I want to help you market RDM and HPF, mate, because I know what change it's made for me in my life. How has it done it? I think the how is the accountability. Al, it really is. Because I say, you haven't done anything for me as such, but you've given me tools for me to use to better myself. Where in the future? Caretaker of the RDM ranch. I don't have to paint the roof in that office now, mate. You've already done that.
2 coats. I did 2 coats, mate. You'd be proud of me. I didn't want to, but I thought, fuck, I better. He's going to see the ceiling one day.
Mate, I was going to stop on the way up here, but I was too scared of COVID.
Yeah, so the ranch will be real, man. It'll be an incredible. I don't think it'll be a pivot by any means. I love what we do, but I think it's just going to be a valuable add-on that may become a core part of us. So even though this is the core, it could definitely work hand in hand. Well, you know what? Let's get fathers, maybe sometimes fathers and families, but let's get fathers off the grid, reconnecting with themselves, stopping. The greatest change that happens, Benny, as you well know, being on the inside with us, and for you guys listening or watching, it's when you just stop the world and live in the now. That doesn't mean you do it every single minute of every single day. Like, we're not leopards laying out under the sun in Africa, or children just running around mindlessly for 6 hours out in the backyard, not a care in the world. There are different responsibilities and duties and obligations. Foresight, vision can be a powerful thing, but it's when you just stop the whole world, slow down, bring it back to center, which is now. There's a sense of calm and peace again for the man, Ben. And like you said, the noise of life. I really like how you coined that, actually, because that's what it is. When the kids are too noisy, or they're jumping all over me, which I do love, but at times when it's not great, or if it's early morning, and when my sensory perceptions, so my eyes, my ears, my body, when they're all getting like pushed into overdrive, coupled with mental stress, the noise of life, man, like it's buckling. This is what we want to do. Let's bring men into our sanctuary and have this as a place to go, look, this is your follow-up to start untying some of those knots. This is you following through. Let's start untying some of those knots that you've probably tied up for fucking years. But the way that we work is we're going to help you untie them in a great way, quicker than what you did doing them, but in a way that's going to be sustainable to carry you through. And, mate, I think, well, how could there not be a spot there for Mr. Henry on the ranch? So,
on what you're saying just there, Al, you're saying that with your sensors and stuff like that, with the kids jumping over you, and if there wasn't that outside noise in life, those little things wouldn't affect you. And that's why I say the outside, because you got your inner sanctum, which for you've got your family, and you're in a sanctum you can usually handle, even though sometimes you do want to throttle. So it's the outside noise. It's the I've got to do the things that are pressuring you, the deadlines, the other things that create you to have that lower level of temper, or I'm trying to think of the word, you know, a lower level of way you can deal with things, you know.
And that's where I do like when you talk about, when you talk about accountability, I see it as, and I think I've always said this, there's two types, and funnily enough, you're right, they're both actually you. But the first type is accountability to yourself, but the second type is accountability to yourself through someone else.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're accountable to yeah, sure. Well, actually, you're accountable to yourself. So you do it for yourself through doing it for your family. You do it for yourself through doing it for the tribe. And that's what I love about it. It's like we are simply a vessel for Ben Henry to channel through some time and energy, which is his investment, back into himself. So in the future Ben Henry can have better quality time and energy. It's a very simple formula, man. Like that's like when we look at that's what it is. But
Yeah.
you know, it's something very few men get to experience, which is, it's life. We get that. It's hard, but the reason why they don't is because they don't take that step. You know, you've stepped into an unknown. You've made it a known. Like I'm clearly
a big unknown, mate. You know.
Yeah.
You know, when I first looked at it, I suppose the biggest thing for me is when I rang. I was lucky enough. I spoke to you. You know, like, fuck, that's the same bloke that's on the telly. You know. Yeah, I'm not talking to a call center in Japan. You know, and that's
true though. Yeah, there's so much noise and shit out there, mate. Like it's, you know, and I get that on some of my ads, snake oil, this and that, and it's, I don't get triggered from that stuff. I used to, but probably the last 12 months, I'm just so certain in what we do and know what we do, and that's why I love the tribe, because we've got so many runs of the board and results with fellas like yourself. It's like, man, that's your trigger and your perception. Cool, that's your opinion. Well, no worries. But how's that moving you forward in life by, instead of just passing through one of my ads, if you don't connect, you're stopping and then you're reading and then you're writing. And, you know, it's pretty clear that I'm a real person. I'm not in a yacht off in the Bahamas sending emails, and I'm not a Nigerian prince, Ben, sending you an email. That's not. Shit.
Italian prince, mate. That's why.
Yeah, bloody hell. Yeah, bloody wogs. How many vowels do they want in their last names? Ranieri. It's awesome having you on, mate. I guess, you know, the point of these sessions and these episodes, which I haven't done one for a while with a member, but man, I just feel feelings drive us in life, Ben, but then we reinforce it with facts. But that doesn't mean feelings aren't important. And this is what I love. Like, I literally have had goosebumps 3 times in our session here, and I just love it, man. It's so, this is real. It's not, reality TV isn't real. That's fucking bullshit. Like, things you see on TV aren't real. Even like sport to a degree is probably the realest thing you may get by watching it on television, but ultimately it's still not a reality of an entire lifespan, because you see athletes on the pedestal and then their life turns to shit and they fall apart in the other key areas of their life, and then they're nothing and nobody from 40 on for the next 40 years. So
that's right, you don't see them, hear them, or
this is real, but you know, this is reality, and I really love this because it grounds and centers me to going, this is my world, you know, this is our world. You know, we're not here to try and change the lives of 2 billion dads. It's not about that. It's going, this is our message. This is where we align. When dads win, everyone wins. This is how we can move you forward in life. This is the process. This is how to help you value yourself again, help you build a legacy. So when we're all dead, you're still living through your children. This is evolution. But so the point of these is never as a call to action to say, hey, awesome story, Ben, tell the guys to click on and sign up and give our money. Like, with respect, we did very well with our advertising. We have a great message and it's attractive. So we're not here to chase or push or pressure or sell anyone. But what I do love is, in these circumstances, you offering some food for thought and advice. If there's a father listening to this or watching this, Benny, again, doesn't mean, hey, give Al a call. I know that's what you probably want to say, but what's some advice you'd offer him if he's in the pit, he's stuck, he's a bit run down? Like, what's something you could offer in your wisdom, because you're living proof of change and transformation, to help him get his wheels going again and help him get in the right direction, mate? What are your thoughts? What would you say to him?
Don't ring Al, ring Drew, and No. I definitely, mate. If anyone is, not sure about this or humming and hawing, speak to the guys, because if you don't pick up the phone call and make a call, you can make your own choice then. And you've got to dive into it. If you pick up the phone and I suppose the biggest thing that I can say to anyone is change your environment and get into this group to change your environment, because it's not a cult. It's not, as you say, he's not a prince from Nigeria. It's real. And as the name states, real dad movement. It's real blokes with real dramas that don't judge you. And I suppose when it has changed a life like it has with mine, and I don't think anything else could have changed life. I'd spoken to psychologists, I'd spoken to counsellors, and they helped, but they didn't save my life. And this hasn't saved my life, I suppose, either, Al, but it has completely changed my life. It's given me tools to realise that for me to get any healthier, I had to eat better. So there's help with nutrition, there's help with your exercise, there's help with your mobility of your body, and there's a tribe of blokes around that support you. So if you've got a doubt, don't doubt it. Make the right choice and get on board. To anyone, I say, there's more than just blokes. It's a pity you didn't have a bigger entourage, Al, because you can take women, you can take children, older people, younger people. There's so many people that need what we're doing, mate, really.
I couldn't agree more, man. When it comes to what I love is how this brings the needle back for fathers to centre, to go, hey, we've actually got something to help the man, because he has been forgotten for decades. We can see that with whether it's emotional, whether it's actions, yeah. But I like the way you put that. And you know what? It's interesting. When we talk about saving life, you don't want to save that old life. What we've done is we've helped Ben Henry create a new life. That's the thing. And I've never said that before. That's actually a revelation I just got from you then, mate. I'm like, saving life. Well, you don't want to say it's a life you're not happy with. Let's fuck that off. Let's actually shed the skin. Let's kill off the older version and create a new life. And I don't have anything against different types of coaches or counselors or psycho. When guys come on board, they've fucking got us, mate, for 365 days. That's a given. The next, what are you times that? 6,084 hours, I think it is. You're in the family. Game on.
It is a munchie here, mate. You feel like family, Al. Like, that if you're in strife, you can pick up the phone and call any of the other blokes in the tribe, or if someone's down, or I've had times there where I've been a bit distant. I've had 3 or 4 phone calls, numerous messages from members of the group checking up on me. I've never had mates in my life do that. Or I have, but not to the extent that I've had in this group. That actual blokes who actually care, that you can actually tell them what's wrong if there is something wrong. And half the blokes I grew up with, if I told them half, a drama that I'd had, they'd think I was trying to pick them up, or think I'd turn queer or something like that, mate. Because that was just the mentality they had. Whereas everyone here's got the same mentality if they want to grow. And man, I've grown.
It's a very powerful word. I know in terms of the psychology of performance coaches, life coaches, different people, they use that word growth, but it's part of our makeup, Ben. Like, as human beings, we are here to create, and we are I don't know if progressive is the word, but we're here to continually improve our circuit. We're here to grow. Like deep down, your intuition, when you put that aside and keep using your brain to stay in a state of being a victim or fear and being driven by that, you'll never grow. And you are either growing or dying, not just at a physiological point of view. You know, I'm not going to be the athlete I was when I was 20, but also in terms of my energy, expression, and leadership, and the ripple effect of impact and change for life, completely different. I'd kill that bloke in a heartbeat, eat him alive. So the game keeps changing, but mate, yeah, growth, spot on. Couldn't agree more. And you know, I appreciate you saying that sort of stuff too, Ben. I'm not here with an insecurity of those who aren't part of the group to think, this is a guy who's just got a podcast and he's got a program or he just wants money, or we got a fuckload of free things. Take them, take it all. Like this is the value, isn't it, Ben? It's actually the human connection. That's the time, which some people don't understand when they want me to leave my family, my 3 children, to come and coach them for free. I don't quite understand that. It doesn't really make sense to me, but the guys on the inside, game on, they're in. You know that. I have bled and do bleed for you, men, because it's worth it. It gives me a level of fulfillment that my wife and children can't give me. That's why we have family, self, and service, Ben. There's a level of fulfillment and significance I'm getting with you right now that my children can't give me. It's a different type. My wife can't give me. It's a different type. I can't give myself. It's a different type. It's actually, it's connection.
It is, mate.
It is. And it's been awesome having you on, mate. And I'm humbled to be part of your journey and just really relishing the opportunity to continually see who Ben Henry becomes in that next version. And it's awesome to be part of that, mate. And I thank you for it. But is there anything else that you wanted to share or add, mate, as we wrap this up? I hope you guys have enjoyed this as well. It's been very powerful.
No, I love everyone in the group, mate. You know, yourself, Drew, there's a couple of coaches. I love where I am in life. And I just can't wait to see what I can create. See where I can get, you know, because going from pushing up daisies, which what I was, you know, would have been doing now if I hadn't been on the old course. Sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. And yeah, I hope to be part of your life for a lot longer yet, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Just come hunting me down, mate, and wake up and I just have a big cuddle one day. There he is.
No, I'm not like that. I'm like that comes stalking you, don't worry.
when we get a hell locked out. Yeah, I had a couple of stalkers. Wonder if they're listening to this.
Well, if they are, mate, I'll come and get them.
I've got my defense, my crew, my security intel, Mr. Henry. Awesome episode, mate. I really enjoyed doing this with you, and thank you for giving your time and sharing your story. There's some very raw things that you've opened up and shared, and that's even more of a bigger sign of how much you've, like I said before, transcended that version of who you were. And it's exciting, man. It's what makes life, and life should be a gift and meaningful and have purpose. And you're the living embodiment of that, mate. So thank you.
No, thank you, mate. And I've got purpose in life, Alan. I thank you for that. You have purpose, mate.
You're a legend, mate. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I really did. This has really hit home for knowing that it's worth it to go through the hard times, but knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel when you don't go it alone, when you have the right people in your corner, and when you do position yourself to get out of your own way and go, you know what? Now's the time. It's my life. I won't get this time back. I'm going to use it anyway. I may as well use it with something that's going to help me level up myself. Everyone else will win, of course. Your children, your wife, your work or business, everything else will win. But when dads win, that's how we do it. Everyone wins. Thanks, Benny.
We all win. Thanks, Al. No, it's been great, mate.